In today's video, I'm going to be talking about these three words. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Karen, and on my channel, I help people like you learn English. So let's talk about these lovely words. Now, these small words are actually very difficult to learn. So I know that they can be very confusing. So today, I just like to give you some basic rules and tips on how to use them. Now let's talk about the words a and an first. We usually use these words before nouns, and nouns that you can count. So things like bananas, apples, monkeys, buildings, cars, so things that you can count. I have 3 apples. There are 4 cars outside. They're all words, nouns that you can count. So you use a or an with them. Now we use an before words that begin with a vowel. And vowels are the letters A, E, I, O, and U. So for example, an apple, an egg, an island, an orange, and an umbrella. Now, one tip that I have for you when listening to native English speakers is when native English speakers use the word an, what we tend to do is join the word an with the word after it to make one long word. So for example, you will also hear an apple, an egg, an island, an orange, an umbrella. Sometimes you'll hear an apple, 2 words, but sometimes you will also hear an apple, an orange, an umbrella, an egg, and an island. We also use an with words that sound like they start with a vowel. A really good example of this is the word hour. Now, hour begins with the letter H, and H is not a vowel, it's a consonant. But when we say the word hour, we don't say the letter H, we say hour. So it sounds like the word hour. So we use an. It's going to take me an hour to finish this assignment. It's going to take me an hour to finish this assignment. Now the word a. We use a before words that begin with any other letter that's not a vowel. A book, a car, a magazine, a sandwich, a dragon, any other word that begins with a consonant. The other time we use a is with words that sound like they start with a consonant. So one good example of this is the word university. Now, university begins with the letter U, but when we say university, it sounds like U, university, which sounds like the letter Y, university. So, with this word, we use a university, a university. So in these examples, you can think of a or an as one. If you can put one before the word, then you can use a or an. As an example, I ate a banana. You can't say, I ate banana. You have to put a before banana. I ate a banana. So when you use a or an, it means you only have one thing. Now, let's say I'm talking about something that begins with a consonant. So for example, car. Car begins with the letter C, which is a consonant. So I use a car. I have a car. But if I want to describe my car, say old car. Now old begins with an O, and an O is a vowel. And when we have a word that begins with a vowel, we use an. So now I say an old car. I have an old car. You have to change the a or the an depending on the word that comes after it. A car, an old car. I have a car. I don't have a car. I have an old car. I don't have an old car. I have a new car. I can also use a or an when I don't need to tell you exactly which one I'm talking about. So for example, I read a book yesterday. I could have read this book, I could have read this book, I could have read this book. I don't need you to know exactly which book I read. I just want to tell you that I read a book yesterday. Now, there are 2 times that you can't use a or an. The first time is when you have more than one item. So if you have 5 bananas, you can say, I ate 5 bananas. You can say, I ate some bananas, but you can't say, I ate a bananas. That's not correct. You can only use a or an when you have one item. Now, the second time that you can't use a or an is when you can't count the word. So a good example of this is the word rice. You can't count rice. So you can't say, I ate 3 rices. It's not correct. So you can say, I ate rice. You can also say, I ate some rice, but you can't say, I ate a rices. It's just not correct. But what you can do is put something before rice. For example, a bowl of rice, a plate of rice. You can count bowls, you can count plates. So you can use a bowl of rice, a plate of rice. I'd like a bowl of rice, please. Now the word the or the. We use this word when you and I both know what we're talking about. So for example, if you and I were in my room, I can say to you, can you please close the door? Can you please close the door? You know that I'm talking about the door to this room. There's no other doors. It's that door. We both know we're talking about that door. Another example is if you and I were sitting at the same table eating dinner, say, and I ask you, can you please pass the salt and pepper? Can you please pass the salt and pepper? You know I'm talking about the salt and pepper that's on the table. It's not the one over there, it's not the one at the other table there, it's the one here. We both know that this is what you're talking about, what I'm talking about. Can you please pass the salt and pepper? Now, another interesting thing about these three words is when I first tell you about something, I use a or an. But after that first time, I start using the. So for example, my friend bought a dog yesterday. The dog is very cute. Now, the first time I told you about my friend's dog, I used a. My friend bought a dog yesterday. Now you know that I'm talking about my friend's dog. So I use the in the next sentence. The dog is very cute. My friend bought a dog yesterday. The dog is very cute. Now those are the basic rules. There are many more rules when using these words, so I may make a second video about these three words. It's a very, very, very big topic. So that's it from me today. I hope you learnt something in today's video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to get some more practical English tips like today's video, then please press the subscribe button and also the bell so that you'll know when I have a new video out for you. Thanks for watching today. Keep practicing, stay safe out there, and I shall see you next time. Bye.